Hi there, my spiritual warriors, and welcome to a new week. Firstly, I'd like to say sorry that I didn't post last week's video, although I might have partially posted it somewhere, but I never got to completing the task. The week was somewhat full on. So anyway, before this week completely runs away with me, I'd like to start with what's going on for us this week. So essentially, sort of like this week is about the termination of old ways and another new beginning in at least one area of our lives. The past of the situation, of our situation, shows that we've been working on identifying and cleansing the areas of self where we cause ourselves negativity and shoot ourselves in the foot. This includes where we get impatient, um, where we let our frustration get the better of us and pull us out of our balance with our truer and higher self. The underlying influences for this week show that there are tremendous powers for transformation and, in some cases, a complete U-turn in terms of our perspective, our direction, and the way that we approach life and life situations. Now, with all opportunities when they come, because the timing is right, the outcome is assured. However, the runes are also showing that not all opportunities will actually work out to our benefit. The challenge very much is to stand up for ourselves, not to collapse into future potentials and just keep that steady progress. Stand up for ourselves, stand up for our morals, our integrity, our principles, and not allow ourselves to be essentially pushed around because we are vulnerable to charging full steam ahead like a bull in a china shop and breaking things that don't need to be broken along the way. So while the underlying influences are very, very, very positive for this week, we do need to exercise caution. In the present, it appears that some of us might be stressing out either over a failed communication. We've been waiting on receiving some kind of news which hasn't arrived. Do not stress out. This information that we're needing or that we're expecting or that we're hoping for, it will turn up when it's supposed to. And this could be something as simple as a package not turning up, as was the case with me over the weekend. I've gone beyond the point of stressing out over items that didn't arrive. Um, I've got back to the supplier, I've got back to the dispatch company, and they need to sort it out. I'm just not going to worry about it at all. There's nothing I can do, so let it go. And the same goes with sort of like this week with regards to these failed communications. Um, when it comes to how this impacts us internally, failed communications could actually also be about ourselves not facing up to some element of inner truth, something that we've been denying to ourselves. So, as I say, last week was a bit of a week for me. It was also a week where I spent quite a lot of time reflecting and contemplating, especially with regards to the areas of myself where I still do occasionally shoot myself in the foot and cause myself to be frustrated over little things that I've got no business being frustrated about. So, if you didn't take time to reflect and balance yourself a little bit last week, then please make some time this week to reflect and balance. Look at those things that sort of like you've not been looking at for a while, or those elements of self where perhaps you've been um, denying the reality thereof. Our biggest challenge this week is to stay focused. Pick a goal in any area of your life. Pick that goal and work towards it with patience, perseverance, and diligence. Um, matters of trust will be at issue. So you need to trust yourself, trust that you are actually heading in the right direction. So choose carefully. Um, sort of like what I like to visualize when this rune comes up is the arrow and the archer. So we are the arrow, but we're also the archer. We need to learn to breathe, take aim, and when we're ready, breathe out and fire that arrow, let it hit its target. So this week is all about targeted, focused, um, directional pursuit, whether that's, and that could be in any area of your life. It could be to do with relationships, careers, job prospects, new areas where perhaps you've decided that you want to learn something new or study something new, become proficient in something new. Take aim, breathe, and then fire. It also shows that it is potentially on the basis that the work is done, because nothing happens without work. If you focus yourself and do the work, it does actually imply future long-term success. The future trends for this week, which will take us through to the end of this week and quite possibly into next week, shows that again, there are going to be delays and blockages in our progress. These delays and blockages, as I keep repeating, are not a punishment. They're designed to buy us the time and space that we need to unblock ourselves, to face up to the things that the universe, creator spirit, needs us to face up to. It's also about needing the time to let things unfold around us so that the information that we require to make empowered decisions can unfold and be revealed. Um, Again, it's shown that we've got some blockages within ourselves, which will try to pull us out of balance. So again, it's working with the shadow side of self. And unfortunately, just as you clean one lot of shadows out of one area, another lot of shadows creep in. Sometimes it's part of a repeating cycle where we've been profoundly wounded in the course of our life, and it's like an onion, sort of like you peel away the first layer of darkness, you sit for a bit, you grow for a bit, and then you suddenly realize, oh, there's still another area of darkness connected to that wound. So whenever delays and blocks come up, irrespective of which part of your life those delays and blocks are to be found, take the time to review and reflect. The delays and blocks are there, as I keep saying, to buy you the time that you need to reflect and to observe, to cleanse. Cleansing is an ongoing part of life. In the same way that we have a shower every day, whether it be in the morning or in the evening, we need spiritual cleansing every day as well. So like there's all sorts of stuff that happens in the real world, in our interactions, that are there to pollute our spirit, pollute our soul. So in the same way that we have a shower, we need to cleanse inwardly and spiritually, um, so that we are kind of like in line with our ethics, our morals, our principles, that we're not being compromised, that we're not being torn away from our true self. So take advantage of those delays because they are designed for our benefit. Overall, we're at the point where at some point this week, um, we will experience a situation where the Creator Spirit will test our faith, where we will be asked to take that empty-handed leap of faith into the void of something new. Again, the something new could be connected with relationships, partnerships, business situations, personal inner growth. That our faith is going to be tested. And in the testing of our faith, we are going to realize and recognize another layer of stuff, inner stuff, that we've either outgrown and needs to be cleansed because it no longer serves a purpose, or because, as I say, It's part of the ongoing spiritual cleansing that we need to do in order to be our best selves. Overall, this week is looking pretty positive, but we do need to exercise caution. The last thing that we need is to be bowled over by the positivity, and as I said earlier, go charging ahead like bulls in china shops, um, breaking everything in sight when things don't need to be broken. Just need to learn to breathe, to be patient. Um, Patience, I cannot um, express how patience is so, so, so important to everything that we do. Kind of like we live in a quick fire world where everything is all about instant gratification, instant this, instant that, instant coffee, blah, 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 instant, instant, instant. Things in life that are worth having, that are designed to outlast us, are never done in the instant fashion. They're always done with patience, diligence, calm thought, and objectivity. So have a fantastic week. Try not to stress yourself out. Um, Please do exercise caution, despite the fact that there will be numerous opportunities around us this week which herald a vast improvement in our personal life situations, total transformation in at least one area of our lives. Um, Definitely very much heralding that the darkness personally is behind us. But as I say, the darkest hour is always before the dawn, and this is where we have to exercise the caution. So have an absolutely fantastic week. I'll be along in bits and pieces in the course of this week, because I've got some really, really exciting announcement to make with regards to events that I'm going to be attending, to be able to meet you in person and read runes for you. Some are local to the UK. One international event on the horizon for me this year in September, but more about that as the days and weeks go by. And once again, I'd like to wish you all an absolutely fantastic week. It is going to be a good week, despite the delays. Despite sort of like a little bit of misinformation or a delayed in information coming our way, just breathe, breathe. It's going to be a really good week despite the tests and challenges. Have a great one. If you wanted to have a private reading, I'm always here, ready to respond to you. Readings are by appointment only. Last night I posted my availability for this week. Um, if this week doesn't work for you, then please do message me and we can maybe get something slotted in next week or the week after before I head off up to Edinburgh. Rightio, I'll leave it there. Have a good one and see you all soon.